With just days remaining before the United States presidential election, where Republican Donald Trump faces his Democratic rival Kamala Harris, nearly 30 million people have already cast their votes through early voting. India Today visited early voting stations in Virginia's Fairfax County, where voter turnout was high as both Republicans and Democrats remain hopeful for a favorable outcome. Superstar singer Beyonce took to stage at a rally for Kamala Harris in Houston on October 25th night, not to sing but to offer her first public political appearance this election cycle, at a crucial moment for the Democratic presidential candidate. Michelle Obama also delivered a searing speech in support of Kamala Harris during a rally in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Rounding on former U.S. President Donald Trump, Biden described the Republican nominee as a loser.
Those counters right here are where people are checking in, they're showing their voter IDs. Once they do that, that's step number one. And you see this lady, she's got a ballot. That's how big of a ballot it looks like. And, they could go to one of these, standy cubes where they can cast their vote, or they can come out here and they can sit down and mark whoever they want to vote. And over there on that side is people actually go and cast their ballots. So it is a very, very simple process. You come in, you check in on this counter, you pencil in who you want to vote for, and you just go ahead and cast right there. Or in those are booths where you actually go and cast your vote. Once you go on the website and you ask them to send you a mail-in ballot or an absentee ballot, which will be dropped off in a box like this, and these boxes are set up among all the voting centers and multiple locations in the county, you basically get a mailed ballot like this. And let's try to open this. You look at, on the back side, there's obviously information about this ballot, where you can go and how you could return this ballot. And it says you could do it by mail, you could do it by person, you could go into Dropbox. The one that I showed you, exactly something like that. And this is what you get in, once you receive a mail-in ballot. This is all what you get in that. And we'll just go one by one. So this is your sample ballot. This is what your ballot would look like. As we were showing earlier, this is how lengthy of a ballot it is. It's very long. You obviously put your name in multiple times, and then you seal it and you mail it back. This is where your name would be, and there's going to be a barcode right here, and this essentially gets into one of the drop box here, and it comes back to the county. This is why it is so cool. You've got the Republican booth right here, and then there's election center right in the middle where people are going in, coming out, casting their ballots. And on the other side, you've got the Democrats and with their booth set up, trying to convince voters. And you see all these signs there, right? Mostly you look at, it says Harris and Connolly. I mean, Connolly is the guy who's running in the local district. And then you also see some Trump and Vance sign. And if you look closely, look at this sign. I mean, this is democracy at work, right? This is the Democrat booth. But then you also see Trump Vance side right next to, the booth. It says voting for Harris involved doesn't mean you're a Democrat. It means you're a patriot. It then talks about stopping Project 2025, and then behind that Harris and Kane sign, you see Trump and Vance. So this is fascinating, and there are not a lot of buzz that you'd see in an election. Very quiet, very muted. Who did you vote for and why?
Kamala Harris. I am very concerned about the state of our union. I want to keep our democracy.
What would you tell people who are watching this? Why should somebody vote for, Kamala Harris, or why they should not vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I think Kamala Harris is compassionate. She cares for every one of the American, every American. And I don't believe that that's what Trump believes in. I think he's in it for himself. He is in it for big business. And Kamala Harris isn't. She's a good person.
Who did you vote for, ma'am?
I voted for Donald Trump, J.D. Vance.
And J.D. Vance. Why did you vote for Trump?
I vote for Trump because I think he's a stronger person. That the president is also the commander-in-chief and has the military under him, and I just don't feel comfortable with Kamala in the military. I think Trump is the one that that will keep us from getting into a lot of stuff overseas. We need to cut back, and we're in enough wars.
Kamala Harris represents autocratic government. Donald Trump represents free market economy. And people just have to look at what Donald Trump did the first 4 years he was president. The economy boomed, inflation was low, employment was high, and then we got hit with COVID and everything got screwed up. But COVID's gone now, so let's get Trump back in there so he can finish what he started 4 years ago.
Trump has no character. He's not demonstrated it. Whether he was having the people working, and I shouldn't get going. But the thing, he doesn't give a damn about union workers, or any workers for that matter. He views unions as getting in the way of the accumulation of wealth for individuals. That's what he views it as.
Over the last 8 years, Donald Trump has become more confused, more unstable, and more angry. And it is clear he has become increasingly unhinged. But the last time, at least there were people who could control him. But notice, they're not with him this time. And then a few months ago, the Supreme Court told the former president he is effectively immune no matter what he does in the White House. It's not 2016 or 2020 when you think about that. Because just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails.
But the thing that really does bind us all together is a desire to be free, to fulfill our God-given potential. And we grew up in a community that saw all of our potential and nurtured it, caring adults. And of course we had a, big, beautiful, wonderful, supportive family. And that's the freedom that Kamala is fighting for everybody. That's what she's fighting for everybody, and it's why she had her entire career has been in public service. And it's why she has fought for the issues that she's fought for over all these many years.